Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we got some more injury information on our Los Angeles Lakers, man. Not so good news on Jackson Hayes. Essentially, he's going to be out for 1 or 2 weeks with a sprained ankle. And it's going to be tough because we have some really tall teams, including the one we're seeing tonight, to face. And the only thing we got to throw at them is Anthony Davis and, of course, the newly acquired Koloko, who's fresh off of something that had him out for 2 years. And, of course, we know, as we mentioned yesterday, that Christian Wood is now going to be out for another 4 weeks. He'll be evaluated in 4 weeks. He probably won't be back in 4 weeks, not at all. So, our big man situation is terrible. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. Vanderbilt, no update on Vanderbilt at all. But last time I saw him, he was not moving very good. He was on the court shooting the ball, but that foot wasn't anywhere near ready to move like it needs to in order to be who we need him to be. So, for those who are listening to me, just know that our big man situation is going to leave us at a severe disadvantage on the boards. And Anthony Davis must stay healthy for us to even be tall enough to play basketball, for the most part. And we're going to be relying upon a guy like Koloko, who hasn't even fully developed to begin with, as our backup guy, who's not really particularly offensive to begin with, although our rim protection should be a little better. He doesn't rebound very well. He's a lower level project player who missed 2 years of his own development. Like, that's what it is. So, and then, meanwhile, all of our backup centers are in Memphis going up against us tonight. Guys that should be in place to fill those roles, they're going to be playing for the Memphis Grizzlies. So it's like, what are we going to do with the center position but watch our centers continue to develop elsewhere and see the guys that we chose not be available to us? This is just the circumstance. So, yeah, man, to say I'm frustrated is not really painting the picture well enough. I'm irritated, ladies and gentlemen. I'm highly irritated because I think that the Los Angeles Lakers could have did something about this. They could have made better decisions to assure we had big men in place. They really could have. I think we will likely turn to Armel Traore, or Traore, however you say it. I think it's Traore. But, to play some center positions, but he's with the G League. And he's already mentioned he ain't a center. He wants to play the forward. He's a forward. And we're going to need him to play the center. You might see Rui play some more center, which we know is a failure for us. You might see Braun play some more center, which we know is a failure for us. And then you got people who are watching us go through this right now. Holding center is probably hiking up the price on them just for us, just because of it. I'm telling you guys, this Lakers situation is looking crazy right now. It's looking crazy. You got Anthony Davis, arguably the most capable center in basketball today, having no backup, period, basically. No legitimate backup basketball player to play his position. And knowing his health issues in the past, knowing that he has such a high usage responsibility on our team. One of the most important things for the Los Angeles Lakers is to have a backup center based on how their team is constructed. And that's the one thing they do not have. I'm telling you guys, I don't know how we go forward like this, Rob. I know what led to all of this. We've talked about a lot of different things that the Lakers have chosen over the last 2 years that led to where we are. I understand that a lot of mistakes have been made that can't necessarily be fixed. I understand the market doesn't react to my desperation in kind, meaning that it's not going to give me what I need just because I happen to need it. As a matter of fact, it will do the opposite. And although a lot of people are talking about rushing to make a trade, what you don't want to do is rush to make a bad trade, and that may be the only thing available to you. To fix your needs, you may need to give up a first-round pick for a role-playing center. You know what I mean? It's like, if the idea is to alleviate headaches, making a bad trade is not going to do anything but provide a different headache on top of the other headaches. And if the center you're bringing in happens to not be very good, or happens to go down just like everybody else on our damn team, Now you're out of the asset that you gave away to get him, which creates even more of a headache. So for me, I don't really know what the solution is, but I can tell you it's not in place. I can tell you that even our G League team doesn't have a legitimate center on it. Not that I know of. So, I don't know, man. I just want the Lakers to understand this. As we go forward with the season, whatever's going to happen, whether it be us giving up a first-round pick for a center or 2 first-round picks for a decent center, or we go forward and try to, roll the dice with people playing out of position at a position that is starting to become more and more deep in the league. Whatever happens at the end of this season, whatever path we're on, we need to really consider moving on from people who made decisions to put this stuff together. There's nothing else to say or assess. Poor decision making in very, very, very numerous areas led to our team having an MVP center without a backup. You got the most important center in basketball today, arguably. Of course, I want to give respect to Jokic, but AD is your leading MVP right now, and he doesn't have a backup. He's been with this team for 6 years, and he's never had a legitimate backup. All the things that we've invested in, and we never invested in a player that can allow the most important player at rest. Bron has about 6 or 7 guys his same size at any given year at this time, which is a great thing because you need that too, but no backup for the center that AD is? We keep bringing us guys that are not very good to back him up. Guys that are on their last leg who are about to be old to back him up. I don't know how people keep scheming around this as a unit, as a team. Why do we keep scheming around giving Anthony Davis his legitimate backup? All the different choices we make, and we don't prioritize giving Anthony Davis that backup player. It's not good, man. And then the guards that we've chosen are not athletic, so they don't particularly do backup center things, rather, you know what I mean? Like you worked in Josh Hart. Now Josh Hart is a guy who's getting triple doubles and playing 82 games and rebounding the ball as well as a big. In this situation, you need Josh Hart. What he is exactly what we need in this specific situation. You know what I'm saying? It's like different decisions, man. Different decisions. And so at this point, as a Laker fan who's watching all this, I don't want us to go out there and make a bad trade to fix this problem, because I think it's probably going to yield poor results. A lot of the problems that we have are made because we made decisions that lasted past the year we were doing those things. So fixing this problem is going to require you to do the same thing. And I'm telling you, you think it's bad trying to put together a team right now. You wait till LeBron James retires and all that value that he has goes out the damn door, and then trying to fix up your roster to look decent so that you can make up for the fact that you mortgaged the picks of that particular year. Because that's damn sure what you likely have done. You ain't going to have a first-round pick to tank with, but you ain't going to have a decent team from which to run out there either. You're just going to suck for nothing. You tell me that getting a backup center in this era with 2 first-round picks that are going to represent both of those years makes any damn sense. You know what I mean? So I can call you a damn fool. Because that's exactly what you are if you think that makes sense. And so that's what I want to tell people. Yeah, I get it. We have problems. And we do need to make trades. But who the hell do you think is going to pay you a decent center without asking for more than they should ask for in this circumstance? Would you? When you know a team is desperate, you're going to grow a heart for their circumstances? When you have a responsibility to your own asset class? Your own asset pool, rather? You know a team needs a center and you got 2 of them. And you're going to say, oh, I know you got 2 picks only to trade. So let me be generous to you and I'll give you my second-round pick. I'll sell you my center for a second-round pick and maybe one of your bad players. Who the hell's going to do that? Who's going to love us more than they love themselves? especially when everything's performance-based when you're a GM, you got to look as if you've won trades. So who's going to purposely lose a trade to help the Lakers to no benefit of themselves? Like, these are the questions that we need to be asking. Who's going to love the Lakers so much from behind a different team that they provide us everything we need without asking for anything good at all? You find me that person who loves you more than they love themselves, and we can fix our problem. We can definitely fix our problem, because that's exactly who you need to be doing a trade with. And I could tell you, based on the rumors that are going on right now, the Lakers are not talking to that person. They're talking to somebody who's actually going to do the very opposite. If you keep on having conversations with the Utah Jazz, you definitely are not getting that. Danny Ainge is not doing anything for you to help you. Not unless you give him something that's going to help him even more. Which obviously you can't afford. So this is the conversation surrounding the LA Lakers right now. I may not like this conversation, but it ain't time to really talk about trades. It's not. Because if it's time to talk about trades, then the conversation that you're actually having is, what bad trade can we live with? Is the conversation that is going to be real to you right there. What bad trade is so damn worth it that we're going to be willing to overpay for whatever we're taking back? Can you find me a bad trade worth it? What the Lakers would have to be able to do, in my opinion, is be able to acquire somebody that hasn't broken out yet, that is imminent to break out, and a center. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody who is so damn behind in regards to his development, but so damn imminent to break out. It would have been great if we could have acquired Brandon Boston. Anybody paying attention to what Brandon Boston's doing right now? Now that the New Orleans Pelicans are out so many players, he's stepping into his own, and he's having big scoring nights, and on nights where he's not having big scoring nights, he's having big assist nights. This dude's breaking all the way out. And it's a damn shame to CJ McCollum and all these guys. Hawkins are going to come back and take his minutes away. But, like, you want to acquire him before he does this. You see what I'm saying? That's what type of trade you need to make. You need to get a guy who is that, but hasn't even begun to show it yet, so that you can get him thrown into a trade as a bad player. And then he comes here and he turns immediately into a great young prospect, or something. Like, that's what you need to have happen. Problem is, hindsight is 20/20. Foresight is not. Who knows who these players are? Who knows if you're going to be able to acquire that piece? Anybody and everybody looks like they have upside, but you know the player who might actually be that player? Jalen Hood-Schifino might actually be that player. Somebody we already got on our team is probably that player. That's the screw-up part about this reality that we're in. We got players on our team that probably fit that bill, have yet to break out, don't look like they're going to be anything, probably going to go somewhere else to play great. We always have those guys. Jay Huff, Scottie Pippen. You know what I'm saying? We keep giving those guys away. And that's what the reality of the Los Angeles Lakers is. They need to be able to anticipate and effectively acquire somebody who is not broken out yet, who's about to break out, so that they can make up in the difference in whatever bullcrap they're going to send out to get back their center. That difference has to be made up somehow. You need to strike it rich so that first round pick can be made up in that trade. We're going to send out 2 first round picks for Walker Kessler. Grab somebody on the Jazz that's about to break out. Oh, you don't know who that is? Yeah, we know. Like, that's literally the truth. That's exactly what it is. So that's the problem with making a trade. You're signing up, no matter what, to send out much more than what you're taking back. That's the reality of it. And everybody hates a bad trade, except for the team that benefits from it. So for all of those who are telling us to make a trade, when the Lakers make that trade, it's likely not going to be anything that's going to make you better. It may be something that fills up one hole, but it's going to open up another or two. Or it may be able to fill the holes you need for this season, but it's probably going to open up 7 or 8 next year that you're not going to be able to undo. And you're going to have more needs next year, just like you have needs right now. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we've been talking about on this channel for years. And yet, we still keep finding our teams stumbling into these type of mistakes that end up hurting us for years. This year is a reflection of that type of decision making. It's the results of doing that. This is what you're going through. So that I would tell people to continue to do that so that we can fix today's problems is stupid. It's stupid in the grand scheme of things because you're just creating more problems next year when you may not have LeBron James to mask a lot of these problems. You're just going to be outright bad. You see what I'm saying? For those who are saying, well, you go all in while you have LeBron James and deal with those problems later. I just have a difference in philosophy. I think you let LeBron James keep you afloat while you get through these problems that have been created by making mistakes in the past. This is exactly what I think the Lakers are doing. Let Bron and AD carry us. That way we can reset our situation, and by the time they bounce, we can effectively return ourselves into a decent space without them and actually have some resemblance of a future without them. May not be good enough to win a championship, but you won't be so bad that people won't watch you. I think that's the lesser of the two evils if I'm watching. So I can tell you right now, we can go all in with this team. Bron will still go down with whatever injury. AD still go down with whatever injury. We still don't win a championship, and now you're out of all those things too. End of the season, you're not a champion and you don't have a future. It's just not, the risk is worth too much. It's too expensive. The reward does not outweigh the risk in that situation. Unless you absolutely capture a championship. And even if you do, you still find yourself with a bad, unwatchable team that cannot effectively tank at the end of that path. You still go through the same suck. You just have another banner in the air weighing down over your head as your team is bad. Which in the grand scheme of things, we already have 17 times over. So I never agreed in that. Well, let's just go all in for a championship. Not when you us. Not when you us. We got 17 of them already. What's 18 going to do if I am so bad for the next 18 seasons because of it? See, a lot of people think the championship is worth it in that regard. But if I'm killing any chance of me winning any more damn championships, and the expectation is that I constantly win championships, then I've effectively destroyed my situation just to get one. Any chance of me getting championships and keeping up with that expectation is lost because I went all in for one. And I already have 17. That if I don't do that, I might be able to build something that can get me 3 or 4 championships if I build the right way and get a little lucky. And what I'm relying upon right now is a little luck so that this doesn't suck. Why would I lean on luck in that way and not lean on luck in the other way? That has so much more good that can come from leaning on luck in that way. It's for me, the logic just doesn't, it don't really add up like people see it. I don't see it the way y'all see it if that's what you want to do. I really don't. I think it's just the opposite of what it is you actually want it to. And so that's what I'm telling people, man. I'm not going all in. Because we already have, and this is what it looks like. And people need to understand that. You've already went all in. And maybe the word all, it gives too much of an exaggeration, because the reality is if it's all in, then you have nothing left. But letting yourself get to a point where you have nothing left is not a good thing. I think that's what people need to understand. That you have nothing left is a bad thing. That your team is not good enough to tank, but bad enough to do so. You don't have a pick, so you can't tank, is what I'm trying to say. But your team is so bad that you're going to be forced into being as bad as a tanking team anyway. Nah, you're just bad to be bad. Whoever the GM and the coach is in those years, they're going to get fired for sure. You understand what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. A coach can't make it through a year like that, where the team is terrible and the team doesn't have its own picks, so it's so much pressure to win with nothing. Yes, he's destined to fail. He's not going to win nothing. And he's going to be blamed for all the problems that took place before he even got there. Like, this is what we don't set JJ up for. So for me, I'm not up for any of that. I'm frustrated, but I'm more so of the mindset that whoever made these decisions, we need to be giving them their exit papers now. Not necessarily that we need to do things that are going to be in the same vein, just to save myself from a headache right now that's only going to give me a whole headache tomorrow. No, that's not. I'm not going to keep kicking headaches down the road until I don't have the ability to do so. So I'm just going to have to sit in an eventual headache anyway. No, it's better to sit in that eventual headache right now while you still have a little something left than to wait till you have nothing and then sit in that headache like that. If I got to sit through a damn headache anyway, I might as well deal with the one I got. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And rather than give myself whole damn brain cancer, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point in time, you just got to look at it that way. And so for me, I just want to tell everybody, hey, Lakers may not be able to get out of this situation without doing too much, but that doesn't mean that doing too much is worth it. If he can find a trade that doesn't cost anything, that can make us good and get us everything we need, and of course you pull the trigger on that, that you look for that is your responsibility if you're him. You know what I'm saying? You got to find something. And that you don't find something, people are going to judge you for that. And that's just what it is. But, you know, we can't abandon the logic of whatever trade we make likely looks like a bad trade right now. That no one's going to give you what you need for a bunch of your trash. No one cares about your problems. Nobody's going to look for you to be happy with whatever it is that you decide to agree to. That's not real. The Lakers need to get that through their skulls before they even call anybody in regards to these trades. You're not going to get far if you're asking people to lose trades on your behalf so that you can get out of the hole you're in. It's never going to happen. So that's the truth, man. I want people to understand it that way, so that as we continue to ask for trades, we understand that the market does not kneel at the altar of the Lakers. It doesn't. The price tag's going to be high because of your ineptitude and your failures to make good decisions leading up to this point. Your desperation makes things more expensive for you, not less. And that we need to look at it that way. Clearly, when we're asking our GM to hurry up and make a trade, he can definitely hurry up and make a trade to make all of you guys happy until you see the trade and you realize you're not happy with the trade. He hurried up and did something, and now you don't have any picks for the next 5 years, and the player that you brought back ain't going to be very good, and he's probably going to sign somewhere else. You're probably not even going to capture value for him, or he's going to have injury issues and going to be waiting on him. And I was listening to somebody talk about Jonathan Isaac. You know, it'd be great if we had Jonathan Isaac. It would be great if Orlando had him too. They're forever waiting on that dude, just like we're forever waiting on Vando. I'm not bringing in Jonathan Isaac so he can sit on my bench and not play with like 20 games a season. I'm not doing that. I already got Jonathan Isaac. His name is Jared Vanderbilt. What the hell am I bringing him to my situation for? That's not real. Like, the idea of a healthy Vanderbilt is great. The idea of a healthy, Mitchell Robinson is great. The idea of a healthy Jonathan Isaac is great. The idea of a healthy Robert Williams, great. If they're all healthy and you can guarantee they're all going to be healthy, bring them all to our team. We have the best defensive team in the league. These players can't stay healthy. So if you're a Laker team that has health issues, don't bring yourself any of these people, because you're going to be waiting on them just like you're waiting on the people you're waiting on now. I'm not giving up a first-round pick for any of those people. I might as well just throw a first-round pick down the toilet. You know what I mean? Literally, just hand it to your rival and say, go get the best player you can. Because that's the equivalent of it. You ain't getting nothing back. And that's something that we need to consider. I heard somebody say something about Dame Lillard. Lakers should trade Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, expiring D'Lo for Dame Lillard. I mean, in a nutshell, of course. But for the problems that the Lakers have, hell no. The Lakers are a bad defensive team who are terrible in transition, who have injury issue players, as we've already been illustrating. Dame Lillard is going to accentuate all of those problems and be significantly more expensive condensed into one person. You're taking all those three people and you're turning them into one bad contract that accentuates all of the weaknesses that you already have, providing no help for those problems in any way, and more likely to have higher demands upon his surroundings when he get here because of who he is. Like, these are the things we need to consider when you talk about bringing Dame Lillard in. You're bringing Dame Lillard in? Dame who don't play no defense. Dame who be missing 2 and 3 weeks at a time with injuries. Every 3 weeks, he go down with an injury that keeps him out of the uniform with the Milwaukee Bucks. A guy who you can't slap Malik Beasley next to because they're the worst defensive backcourt in the league. You're telling me with the problems that you have, that you want to bring that player to your situation? You sure? Well, yeah, he's Dame. No, he's a player who can't play any damn defense on a ridiculous contract, who's now at the end of his career, who's likely going to be getting hurt very soon because the rest of his team ain't going to be there, because you would have traded him all the depth away, the little depth that you have left, to get him. He's not Dame. He is a player that you are going to likely be stuck to, that's going to be losing value in your uniform by the second, who raises the stakes on you winning a championship, but not necessarily the ability for you to actually compete for one. The pressure for you to win with him here becomes greater, but the ability to actually win with him here doesn't increase. You're putting even more pressure on yourself to succeed with too little. Hell no, you don't go after Dame Lillard in this situation. You're bringing him to something that's going to make you worse, make him worse, and ultimately he's going to be unhappy. Why? Because he wants to be in Miami. And Miami has not made any play to get Dame Lillard. Why? Because they see what I see. And they don't have a situation that he can excel in either. To be completely honest with you, they don't. I'm going to tell you right now, if you can shake some things around to where you're getting everything you need so that Dame Lillard is not asked to play any defense whatsoever, not asked to be healthy at all, but still has enough talent around him on top of all of those things to carry him when he's out, then yeah, you bring him to a great situation. Dame Lillard needs to be in OKC. Problem is, they already got Shea, so they don't need him. He needs to be somewhere where the depth is immense. Memphis, where they got nothing but backup players for him, nothing but defensive players around him. He ain't got to do nothing but shoot the ball and stay as healthy as he can. And when he doesn't get healthy, he has all the time in the world to take off to get healthy, like John Morant does right now. I don't think people really get it. Like, you can't just bring a name to you. You guys, like, you bring a name to you, but you have all of the right stuff to make him look his absolute worst. And you don't identify that, Milwaukee. And then you sit up there scratching your head when it doesn't work. First, you got to know who you are. Then you got to know who the player is. You understand what I'm saying? And if we bring Dame Lillard to our situation, we are not taking into account either of the two realities. Who he is and who we are, what our problems is, and what he's going to provide. He's going to do all the worst things for you in regards to making you look better. Yeah, you're going to have a valuable piece, but is he going to stay healthy enough so you can retrade him to capture that value? No. You're likely going to get a worse return than what it is you gave up to get him. As soon as you get Dame, you ain't going to be able to retrade him for the same stuff you just traded him for. I'm not stupid enough to do that. I'm not. Now, if Dame Lillard wants to start playing some strong defense, which is not something that he does, it starts becoming a lockdown out of nowhere, then we're talking. But, like, that's not even real. That's everything but real. He is a cone. Damn it, he's a cone, okay? We're going to tell the truth. Dame Lillard is one of the worst defenders as a star player in all of basketball. He's terrible. He's consistently terrible. Just like a lot of offensive superstars. He is terrible on the defensive end. Hell no, you don't bring him to a situation where we have backcourt defensive issues. Hell no, you don't bring him to a team that's one of the worst transition defensive teams in the NBA. With injury issues, when he can go out with a groin injury that's going to keep him out for 6 months. Hell no, you don't bring Dame Lillard to that situation. On the contract he's on? Now, if he was on a $10 million contract or $20 million contract, then of course, that's a value. You can afford to get the stuff that he isn't going to bring to the table on next to him because you have the cap space to do it. In this situation, hell no. He's making like $60 million a year at the end of that damn contract. You ain't gonna be able to put nothing next to that damn thing. I mean, you put him next to 40-year-old Bron and AD. I mean, it's like, yo, if you can't come up with nothing better than that, if you can't find a better path toward getting what you need, you don't need to be doing anything at all, man. Know who the player is and know who you are. If you don't have any idea what the hell you're doing and you just want to get you a name, believe me, you're going to suck for that bad. That's what Milwaukee did. And Milwaukee's the worst. Now they talking about they want to trade. Who wants any of that crap to Milwaukee? Let me tell you, Milwaukee, what you got to do, Milwaukee. You're going to have to take Tyler Smith, A.J. Johnson, A.J. Green. Is it A.J. Johnson? Or something, whatever. Johnson, the guy they just picked up. Both of those kids they got in the draft. Take them. Take A.J. Green, Marshawn Beauchamp, and maybe Bobby Portis. And you offer that for something that you could retrade. And you'll look at me like I'm crazy for telling you to do that. But the truth of the matter is, it's the only thing anybody has on you that you have that anybody will want. Everything else that you have, no one wants. Brook Lopez at 37 years old, no one wants. Dame Lillard on that contract, no one wants. Brittle ass, what's his face? What's his name? That they forever waiting on, except for that 1 year when they won the championship. Other than that, he's always hurt. Small forward. I can't even think of the man's name. That's how long it's been since I actually seen him on the damn court. Chris Middleton. Because see, the problem with Chris Middleton is his contract is that of a player who's as good as he is, minus the health issues. So it's like you're paying for him to be an all-world long forever shooter, except for he's literally hurt all the damn time. And he's always hurt. This is not just a thing that's going on this year. Every year he's hurt except for the championship year. If you look back in his past, his early past before that, you're going to find more of what you see right now. Him sitting on the sideline out for months. Out for months, out for months, out for months, out for months. Jonathan Isaac, same thing. Out for months. Always out. Always, always, always. Middleton is always out. So you put him on a $40 million a year contract, and you effectively have something that nobody wants. I'm telling you, the only thing that anybody will remotely want is your young players and Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is somebody that people think they can bring to their situation to make better. Everything else Milwaukee has is a no-go in that way. Dame Lillard, not on that contract, not in most situations. Most situations he's no good at right now. With what he's been exposed as defensively, no good. No good. He's not worth the price tag at all. You know, you just picked up Gary Trent. He's having a bad year. Lakers may have dodged a bullet with that dude. He's not playing well at all. Not playing no defense. He ain't hitting no shots. He looks terrible in Milwaukee, from what I understand. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and then you look at some of those other players that they got on their bench. You see young guys that they don't play, that they're not developing. Haven't we heard that somewhere before? Because they want to play all these old people that can't really do nothing for them. And even when them dudes continue to suck, they still keep playing them instead of playing the young guys. Yeah, that's what Milwaukee's known for. That's the stupid stuff that they constantly doing. So the young players like AJ ain't getting no better. Marshawn Beauchamp ain't turning him into nothing. They look at him and say he's a young player who sucks, and they never get him off the bench. That's literally how they treat all of their young players. Doc Rivers and Darvin Hammer and everything. So the fact that Milwaukee wants to make a trade, the only thing Milwaukee's going to be able to acquire is stuff that no one wants. And the problem is, no one who has stuff that no one wants is going to want to do a deal with them because they have, guess what? Stuff no one wants. Trade one problem for another problem? Why would I want to, like, what does that do for me? If I'm trying to alleviate myself of headaches, I'm just going to bring myself your headaches, give you mine, just to say I did something? It just, like, I'm not doing that. Milwaukee, you don't have anybody that anybody wants unless you give up stuff that you probably don't want to give up but are too stupid to play regularly. That is what you need to do. Take all the young players that you just picked up and send them somewhere for something that somebody would actually do something for. I'd take all of that stuff and trade it away for a first round pick. All of the stuff that looks good on their team, they need to trade away for a first round pick. Or several second round picks. That's literally what they need to do. They need tradable equity. Or, and here's the kicker, you trade Giannis. You trade Giannis. But even if, like, it's the problem with them trading Giannis. Once you trade Giannis, now you're out of a pantheon great legendary player, but that doesn't make it that the rest of your stuff is any good any damn way. So the only stuff that you're bringing back in equity that's worth a damn thing is the return for Giannis, depending on the type of trades you make. And if you do things the way you've been doing them, evaluating talent the way you've been evaluating them, chances are you're going to lose the trade for Giannis. And the Metrolink agrees. You're going to likely lose the trade for Giannis. You're going to send Giannis somewhere and take back something you think is good that probably ain't no damn good based on how you evaluate talent. Giving Middleton that big old contract, giving Lopez that big old contract, that signal to anybody who's paying attention, you don't know what the hell you're doing. I'm not giving Lopez $20 million at $30 million or whatever they gave him at 37 years of age. Not if I want people to think I'm a competent evaluator of talent. I'm not giving him that. So if I'm the Rockets, I'm not giving you anything good for Giannis. I'm going to give you Fred VanVleet. I'm going to give you Dylan Brooks. And maybe a first round pick, but you're not actually getting the good stuff on my team. I'm bringing Giannis to that. And I'm going to give you the crap that you probably think is really solid. You ain't going to get nothing of value. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you're going to get back some first rounders. Maybe that's what it's all about. But the talent and salary matches that you're likely going to get for Giannis probably ain't going to look as good as maybe Danny Ainge would get if Giannis was in his situation he was trading Giannis. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem with being Milwaukee. It's also the problem with being the Lakers because we're in that same boat. So that's what I'm telling Laker people. Like, all these decisions that you made to let good talent go to Memphis, that puts you in that same boat as Milwaukee. Now people looking at you like Milwaukee. They looking at you saying, man, I ain't about to pay nothing real for them. And if I do offer them something, I could probably coerce them into taking something that ain't that good. Because they wouldn't know good if they saw it. That's a reputation you start bringing yourself when you keep letting good talent walk out the door. And you keep under-evaluating players and letting them play for you. Gabe Vincent, stupid stuff like that. You know, giving a player option to freaking bad players. You know, this Max Christie decision, which is, I mean, it's proven to be a short-term disaster. Although I'm not out on Max Christie as a good player that can ultimately make that contract worth anything, I'm out on the people in place who are going to ultimately make him look that way, thinking that they're actually going to do that the way they've been doing things. That's the problem. I had the nerve of seeing somebody put out a statement on behalf of the Lakers saying the Lakers have not given up on Dalton Knecht. Good. But if you had given up on Dalton Knecht, it's not Dalton Knecht that anybody who's paying attention is going to be giving up on. It's you and your evaluation of such behaviors and such talent, rather. It's you. Once you tell me you've given up on Dalton Knecht a month into the season, that's when I tell you I've given up on you. You're not good at what you do. See what I'm saying? Nobody in their right mind is going to give up on Dalton Knecht a month into the damn season. Nobody in their right mind. Nobody did any real homework on Dalton Knecht's even going to think that. So that you think it's important to release that just reaffirms the reputation that you already have, which is that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Because nobody thought anybody who had any sense would have given up on Dalton Knecht. It's Jalen Hood-Schifino that people are wondering if you got it right about. It's Max Christie that people are wondering if you got it right about. Nobody's wondering if you got it right with Dalton Knecht. He shouldn't have been on the board when you drafted him. He should have already been gone. I'm questioning everybody else who didn't pick Dalton Knecht in the first 17 picks if they knew what the hell they were doing, not the people who have him in place who happen to just have him fall in their lap. You did something right for a change. You actually got the talent that fell in your lap. You giving up on him would be a even stupid decision for your reputation. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you ain't got to tell me that you're willing to drink water when you're thirsty. I'm pretty certain you are. So I don't know, man. Lakers, you got to understand, man. There are real competent teams out there. Real competent for GMs that are making good decisions. You look around at Memphis, you look at OKC, you look at the Boston Celtics. They got some teams out there that are serious, man. They're doing real good things. The stuff that you're doing is laughable in their environment. I'm just being honest with you. This whole Bronny James thing, sending him to the G League, the whole thing looks so silly in the presence of these other teams. Letting Quincy Olivari sit in the G League, it looks silly, man. You really need to know. You need a Laker fan to tell you how silly you look right now. You guys look silly. It's real laughable, man. Oh, and I want to say something in regards to Bronny James. It's been said that he's not going to play road games for the G League. They don't want him going on the road. I think that's a security issue. I think that's what that's about. I think it's a security issue. I think that at the end of the day, this is a billionaire's son, high-profile billionaire, super famous guy's son, and history has told us that people kidnap those people's sons for ransom. So I don't blame Bron and Clutch for not wanting Bronny to play some random game in Sioux Falls. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. I have no problem with that. I wish I would have thought of that. I didn't think of it, but now that it's in place, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. No, you don't want Bronny to take a commercial flight to Springfield or something like that to play a random game in some rinky-dink hotel in Springfield. Like, no, he's too high stakes of a person, in this world. You put his life in danger. Unless you up the security budget for your G League team immensely, as to which that's not going to be something that most organizations would be willing to do. You see what I'm saying? In a perfect world, they just up the security budget. But for your G League team, they're never going to do that. So this makes all the sense in the world. I'm sure Bron would have security around his son 24/7. But you just don't want to open the door for certain things to be possible security-wise. And as somebody who did security for many years, that's immediately where my head went. Like, yeah, it's a security risk. 100% a security risk. You put the whole team in danger when you have a golden ticket like that going to random places in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. So that's just something that people are going to have to live with. This is not a regular person. LeBron James he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. He's a high-profile figure. He's a polarizing figure. His son is not going to be able to just move around like regular people. He's not. And while we hate the special treatment that he's getting, when it comes to something like this, that makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a whole lot of sense to this old security guard. So, yeah, man, that's what I got to say, man. I wish I would have thought of that sooner. I think I may have mentioned to some very minor degree about just, the risk of him moving around in general at one point randomly on this channel. But I never really thought of it the way that I now do when it comes to him playing road games, flying commercial flights. It's not safe for him or the rest of the team if you put him in that position. There's too many hungry people out here, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Desperate people. You do not want to leave the door open for them to do something crazy and extort LeBron James out of like $150 million or something like that. So that's the reality of it, man. And people who just hate Bron because they've been coerced into hating him by way of the group thinking of things, you know? Your media, it's not really going to be responsible in that way. And they continue to bombard us with either or conversations about whether or not to love or hate LeBron James. They're really speaking to a lot of unbalanced minds and putting the seed in there that they should either love or hate this person passionately. So it's like we haven't reached a space where the consequences of that have been so harsh that we're awakened to it. But that's a real thing. That's a real thing. So a lot of times people need to get their hand burnt in order to realize they should stay away from something hot. And this is one of those. Media is completely and utterly irresponsible when it comes to the building up and tearing down of public figures. And we're not going to be happy until something catastrophic in that vein takes place, till we understand that we need to start looking at those people with a certain level of blame as it pertains to just how vicious they can be in painting the picture about public figures at times. Because that's a real thing, man. You're talking to some real depraved people out there when you talk to the masses. Some people are really crazy, bro. So that's something that we need to be. I guess we have to go through the worst of it to really have that conversation. So hopefully it never happens. But that's really pretty much all I want to say, man. I'm running out of time anyway on this thing. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.